All right. Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Awesome. So today we're going to tackle a topic that I think is well, it's guaranteed
Yeah,
to bend your mind a little bit.
absolutely.
We're going to be talking about the simulation hypothesis
Okay.
and diving deep into, well, excerpts actually from this book.
Mm-hmm.
The simulation hypothesis, living in a digital universe,
Right.
which I mean, just the title alone is kind of trippy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Wow.
it really gets you thinking about, like, what is real?
Totally. Yeah. Like, what if everything we experience is just part of some
Oh,
super advanced computer program?
yeah.
Kind of a wild thought. It's funny, though, because this whole idea, I mean, it's not like brand new.
Yeah.
Philosophers have been playing with this concept for like centuries, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I mean, think about Plato's allegory of the cave.
Oh, yeah.
Right. That's all about mistaking shadows for reality.
Exactly. It's like they were onto something way back then.
Yeah.
But let's fast forward to the 21st century, because
Okay.
that's where things get really interesting.
Mm.
I mean, you've heard Nick Bostrom, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, sure.
Philosopher.
Yep. Yep.
And he came out with this argument, I think it was 2003.
That sounds right. Yeah.
And basically, it's like, statistically speaking,
Yeah.
it's more likely that we're living in a simulation than not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His argument's pretty wild. Basically, it goes that if civilizations get advanced enough
Mhm.
to create realistic simulations,
Mhm.
they probably would.
Oh, okay, I see.
And if they make enough of these simulations, chances are we're probably in one of those.
Hmm. Like, instead of the original real deal.
Exactly. It's kind of like, think about all the video game worlds out there, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be kind of strange if ours was the only real one?
It's like, that would be the exception to the rule almost.
Yeah.
It really makes you think. But, I mean, to create something like that,
Yeah.
the whole universe,
Mm.
the computing power alone, it's got to be insane.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the big hurdles, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even with our current tech, like our best supercomputers, to simulate something like our universe with all its complexity,
Yeah.
it just seems impossible.
Yeah.
But that's where quantum computing might come in.
Oh, right. I mean, that's like a whole different level.
Totally.
The book mentions how these quantum computers, they could potentially, like, actually simulate consciousness.
Yeah. Yeah, it's mind-blowing, right?
Yeah. I mean, so instead of just, like, environments like we see in video games now,
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about simulating actual thoughts,
Yeah.
feelings, experiences.
It really makes you question what real even means.
Seriously.
Yes.
It's like, what if we could create a conscious being inside a simulation?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, would it feel any less real to that being?
Right. That's a big one. And it brings up another point.
Okay.
Maybe there are clues in our reality
Oh, interesting.
that suggest we're in a simulation.
All right, so now we're getting to the good stuff. This is where it gets really interesting.
Right.
So I've heard, like, some people say that the speed of light, the fact that there's this limit,
Yeah.
could actually be evidence for a simulated reality.
Yeah. A lot of people talk about that.
Like, is that a real thing?
Well, it's a theory. Think of it like a computer having processing limits, right?
Okay.
So maybe the speed of light is just the fastest our simulated universe can refresh.
Like a frame rate limit.
Exactly.
Wow, okay. And what about, I remember reading something about the observer effect
Yes.
in quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
Something about how just observing particles changes how they behave.
Yeah, like it forces them to choose a state.
Right. And that's somehow related to the simulation idea, too.
It's in the book, actually. They talk about this experiment with photons where, like, until they're observed,
Mhm.
they're in this blurry state of possibility.
It's like the universe is trying to save on processing power
Yeah, exactly.
until it absolutely has to render the details.
Just like in a video game. Yeah.
So are there any other glitches in the matrix we should be looking out for?
Well, some people point to the fine-tuning of the universe,
Oh, yeah.
like how all the physical constants are just perfect for life to exist.
You're saying maybe it's not random chance, it's programmed that way?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Okay, before we go too far down this rabbit hole, though,
Yeah.
we do got to address, I mean, I think the elephant in the room here, right?
Right.
Even if these clues are, like, super interesting,
Yeah.
the simulation hypothesis, it does face some pretty big challenges.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, for one, how do you even prove it?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about analyzing the very system we're supposedly trapped inside of.
Yeah. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's like, are we ever going to find the edges of the map in this video game?
Right. or even know if there are any edges to find.
It makes you wonder, can we even test a theory about reality when we're, like, part of that reality?
Yeah, it's a good point. And then there's the question of, like, why? Why would some super advanced civilization even bother simulating us?
Right.
I mean, I'm imagining it's got to take a ton of effort.
It's a colossal undertaking, yeah.
So what's the payoff? Are they, like, studying us? Are we some kind of experiment?
Right.
Or maybe, I don't know, just entertainment for them?
Like a cosmic reality show.
Exactly.
Well, the book actually, it does touch on some possible motivations.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're using these simulations for historical research.
Oh, interesting. So, like, different timelines, different possibilities.
Yeah, or to test out different societal structures, different ways of living.
So we're like lab rats in a way.
In a sense, yeah. Or like
Yeah.
you said, entertainment.
It's like The Sims, but on a universal scale.
Exactly.
Okay. But even then, even if we figure out the why, wouldn't the sheer scale of this thing be a problem?
Oh, absolutely.
To simulate, like, everything.
Everything, yeah.
Down to every atom.
It would require just an insane amount of computing power.
Even with quantum computing.
I mean, it's still a massive hurdle. The energy demands alone would be astronomical.
Yeah, that's a good point. So we've got these clues,
Yeah.
right, that hint at a simulated reality.
Yeah.
But then we've got these, like, huge logistical problems.
Right.
And philosophical questions, too.
It gets a paradox for sure.
It really is.
Right.
But I guess that's what makes it so fascinating, right?
I think so. I mean, the simulation hypothesis, whether it's true or not,
Yeah?
it forces to ask some really big questions.
About, like, existence itself.
Exactly. Like, if our reality is a construct, what does that say about free will?
Right.
And if we're just code,
Yeah.
essentially, what's the meaning of life then?
Those are questions people have been asking forever.
Yeah.
But the simulation hypothesis, it adds a whole new layer to it.
It's not just an abstract idea anymore. It's
Yeah.
a real possibility.
And kind of a scary one, to be honest.
It can be, yeah. But it's also a shift in perspective.
Okay.
Like, even in a simulated reality,
Mhm.
choices still matter. Our emotions, our relationships. Yeah.
The way we experience the world, these all have meaning, even if it's all, simulated.
Okay. I see what you're saying. It's like, even if it's a game, it's still our game.
Exactly.
Our experiences are real to us. Okay. But let's just say for a second.
Yeah.
We could somehow prove it.
Prove the simulation.
Yeah. Like, no doubt about it. We are living in a simulation. What would that mean for us?
Whoa. That's a huge question.
Right.
I mean, would it be liberating? Would it be terrifying?
Maybe both.
Probably. Would we try to, like, break free?
Could we?
And what if we learned to manipulate the code?
Oh, wow.
Think about the possibilities.
It's like we could unlock, I don't know, incredible technology,
Right.
solve all sorts of problems.
Like poverty, disease.
Yeah, yeah.
Rewrite the rules of the world.
But then there are ethical questions, too. How much control should we have over our reality?
And what does it even mean to be human then?
Exactly. If we're not the ultimate creators,
Yeah.
but just characters in someone else's program.
Does that change our sense of purpose? Our responsibility?
These are big questions.
It would shake everything up, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Our societies, religions, philosophies, everything.
It's almost too much to think about.
It's a lot to unpack, that's for sure. But I think at its core, the simulation hypothesis,
Yeah.
it shows us the power of our imagination and our
Mhm.
need to understand reality.
Yeah. And even if we never know for sure, like, the answer, just thinking about it, makes you see things differently.
Oh, for sure. It makes you question everything, look at things from different angles.
And appreciate, I don't know, the mystery of it all.
Yeah, the mystery and the complexity.
Which makes me wonder,
Yeah.
what if that's the whole point?
Oh, interesting. You mean like...
Like, maybe the creators, if there are any,
Yeah.
they want us to question things.
Yeah.
To, like, push the boundaries of what we know.
Like it's a puzzle they've set up for us.
Exactly. A cosmic puzzle.
That's a cool thought. Or maybe they just want us to, live our lives.
Experience it all.
Yeah, the good and the bad. All the stuff that makes us human.
So even if it's a simulation, it's still meaningful.
I think so. Our emotions, our relationships, how we grow as people, those things matter.
That's a good point. It's like, even if we're just characters in some giant game,
Yeah.
it's still our game. you know?
Exactly.
Our choices matter. We can still shape our own destinies.
Within the confines of the game, yeah.
Right. So maybe the real test isn't about figuring out if it's a simulation or not, but about how we choose to play the game.
Well said.
Whether the cake is from scratch or a box mix,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
it can still be delicious.
I like that.
It's all about how you experience it.
And our perceptions shape our reality, simulated or not.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground
I
today,
have.
from the philosophy to the mind-blowing possibilities.
Yeah, it's been a real deep dive into the nature of reality.
Before we go, I have one last question for you,
Right.
and for everyone listening.
Okay.
If you could know for sure, yes or no,
Uh,
are we in a simulation? Would you want to know?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Would it change how you live your life?
I don't know. Would it,
Make the world less amazing?
or more?
Maybe it would make you want to explore the limits of this simulated reality.
So many questions.
That's the fun of it.
I think that's a great place to leave it.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the simulation hypothesis.
It's been a pleasure.
Keep those minds open, keep questioning everything,
Right.
and who knows, maybe you'll spot a glitch in the matrix.
You never know.
Until next time, everyone.